Welcome back, everybody. It is now time for What's Hot. This is where we talk about the stories that have everybody talking.
We are joined today by Tracy Johnson of Car W, and Jeff Wagner is back with us. President Obama made a surprise trip to Afghanistan Sunday. He indicated some troops will stay in Afghanistan next year, but Afghanistan's president is not on board for that plan. What should be done in this situation? You've got a "we're going to stay and no you need to leave" scenario.
Well, I don't think anybody in their right mind thinks it's a good idea to completely pull all troops out of Afghanistan. I mean, we've had a military presence in Europe since World War II. We've had a military presence in Korea since the mid-1950s. So I don't think anybody thinks it's a good idea to leave. But having said that, unless you cut some sort of agreement that says, okay, how are matters going to be treated? You know, is it going to be military justice? You know, what's going to be the responsibilities? Unless you do something like that, you can't leave the troops in there. I don't know what this the president of Afghanistan is thinking about, but he needs to, I think, really rethink his position hard.
Well, and they've got an election coming up, and it's no secret that the new leader of the country will hopefully be on board with whatever Obama's plans are. My concern, though, is that it's such an unstable country. It's one of the poorest countries in the entire world, the poorest country in Asia. We've been there for such a long time. What happens when we completely pull out without a longer-term plan? And so, you know, he's got a lot of work to do between now and later this year.
And I think if you do that, if you know, the troops are removed and there is not a long-term plan, you lose everything that you've gained, and you know, think about how many people died achieving that.
Well, right, exactly, especially since it's not a stable situation. Now, obviously, you want to bring troops home and you want to do a drawdown, and I don't think anybody's talking about the American military being an occupying force, but to completely and totally pull out, like I say, I just think it's crazy. I think the president thinks it's crazy, but you know, the folks in Afghanistan, the leaders, they got to get with the program.
Can they kick us out?
Well, they can't kick us out, but I don't think
if we want to stay, we can stay in some fashion.
Right, but here's the problem: if you don't have an agreement, okay, what happens? You know, typically you have these agreements. It says, all right, if there's an incident involving a military personnel and a civilian, military justice covers it. It's those types of things. If you don't have one of those types of agreements, it becomes a free-for-all, and you can't expose the troops.
Well, and they're hopeful again, like the new election will yield a new leader, and hopefully we can get something figured out. But you never know, because the Taliban has such a strong presence still there. So I have grave concerns, and hopefully it works out.
All right, coming up next, we will reveal the